Hey there, YouTube. So, I've seen like 4 or 5 videos already this morning, entitled OCD and yeah, I'm not gonna shoot this again. I've seen like 4 or 5 videos already this morning entitled um, "Why are people giving up on discussion?" and this other one uploaded by Curas entitled "Why don't we talk anymore?" And there's been like 3 or 4 videos uh, in regards talking about the same subject, and it is interesting that nowadays with all the social media and all that, um, there really isn't much room left for discussion because are people's minds are already made up before they even go into a discussion or some kind of debate, if you want to call it that. And they don't really, no one's really listening anymore. It's like with this, now that everyone has an outlet or an instantaneous form of getting their message across, with smartphones and all that kind of stuff, um, or everyone's kind of like, subscribe to my podcast, bro, become my Patreon for only $1 a month, and you'll become a Patreon, and da 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 da. And hey, if that's your hustle, and people out there in the world are willing to donate money to you because you upload videos on YouTube, I mean, more power to you. I'm not. You got to get your hustle on any way possible in which way you can get your hustle on. That's just the way life is, and that's the way life will always be. It's kill or be killed. Uh, you're either the hunter or you're being hunted. That's just the way life is, and that's the way it'll be until this blue ball of shit turns into a red burning ball of shit. And let's just hope that's not anytime soon. Um, but yeah, why are people giving up on discussion? Why don't we talk anymore? YouTube isn't the same as it was back in the day. I mean, back then, 2009, 2010, people would get on YouTube. Back when YouTube and Blog TV had that symbiotic relationship thing going on, those days were pretty cool. Um, yeah, YouTube isn't the same as to what YouTube was 10 years ago. And especially after the ad apocalypse in 2012, it kind of changed the whole game. It changed the reasons why we were able to have so much discussion and debates about atheism and Christianity, Catholicism, uh, is circumcision mutilation, all those fun debates that would get people riled up and but at the end of the day, it was still cool because people were listening. And when the apocalypse happened in 2012, and you were able to make money off, anyone was able to make money off of uploading videos on YouTube, well, that kind of changed the whole game. It became more of a lot more backstabbing, a lot more two-faced motherfuckers, a lot more people contradicting themselves, if it meant they could get an extra dollar on YouTube by uploading videos. And I mean, so yeah, I mean, back then people would get on YouTube and Blog TV to have a discussion, have a debate, to try and learn something new, or see something from a different angle, or see something from a different perspective. I mean, I live in the States, so it was pretty cool talking to people from Scotland, talking to people from Australia, talking to people from Canada, talking to people from the UK. It was just it was pretty cool because at the end of the day you realize that we're all one and the same, and we all want the same things, one way or another. Maybe not identical, but so So that had a lot to do with it, with the whole adpocalypse bullshit, and people no longer had open ears and open minds. It was more about, how can I make my next dollar on YouTube? Of course, not everybody, but I mean, you throw money into the equation, and people turn into disgusting pieces of shit. I mean, that's just, it's you know, it's sad but true. Yeah, dude, you throw money into the equation and people turn into backstabbing, lying, manipulative sacks of fucking cold turkey shit. So, and now, you know, it's everyone with these instantaneous forms of communication, and anyone can record a video on their smartphone and put it up on Twitter, put it up on Instagram, put it up on Facebook, whatever. Essentially, it's all one and the same thing. We just call it different names, but so now everyone has a podcast. Subscribe to my podcast. Subscribe to my podcast. And now it's a sea of creators. It's a sea of performers, and there's no longer an audience, because everyone has their voice now. Everyone has their platform. Everyone has their channel. Everyone has their podcast or whatever the fuck. So no one's listening. No one's listening anymore. Everyone's up on stage, and there's no longer an audience, or at least in the numbers that there used to be. I mean, that's for sure. But it is interesting. It is. I'm not gonna say it's unfortunate. I mean, it is cool that everyone kind of can have their own voice heard and their own platform and whatnot. But I have no idea why I did that. But and I'm walking like I'm drunk. So yeah, I think in large, ultimately, you know, with people asking the question, why don't we talk anymore? Why is discussion becoming a thing of the past? It's because nobody wants to shut the fuck up and listen anymore. Everyone's center stage, and no one's sitting in the crowd. Everyone's just waiting for their turn to speak. And people in large already have their minds made up before they even get into a discussion. So what's the point in discussing anything if you're not going to be open to somebody maybe changing your mind on a certain topic or a certain debate or a certain, I mean, whatever the fuck's in the news, whatever's being said. There's really no point in speaking your mind when everyone's just in line waiting for their turn to speak, and their ears are closed, their ears are shut off, their minds already have a fence with the lock and key. So and the apocalypse in 2012, it changed everything, because now it was no longer just talking for the sake of talking or debating a stupid subject for the sake of just debating a stupid subject. It was cats lying on the ground waiting for you to feed them, because cats are magical, mystical creatures. Sphinx. Sphinx Giza. You gonna go and say hi to the camera? We got Sphinx Giza in one corner, and you got Behemoth hiding under the truck. Or at least he was hiding under the truck. I don't know where the fuck he went. But anyway.